the TV shows Ally McBeal, Home Improvement, and Friends have in common? In a lawsuit with huge ramifications for TV viewers everywhere, the studios that make them are suing an internet site that allows you to record and copy almost every show you see on TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pros and Cons. I'm Helen Lukatis. Nancy Grace has the night off. Recently, the copying of music online caused a stir with the court battle involving the company Napster. And now the copying of television shows online is also causing controversy. A dozen TV and movie studios and the Motion Picture Association of America are suing an internet company called recordtv.com. The company operates a website that allows users to record and copy their favorite TV shows online. And as Court TV's Beth Karras reports, the so-called virtual VCR is pitting a small high-tech company against the Hollywood heavyweights.
David Simon says he created a virtual VCR for his two daughters so he could record their favorite TV shows.
My kids have computers and internet access in their bedrooms and no VCRs, and they wanted to be able to record their Pokemons and Digimon shows.
It blossomed into recordtv.com that allows users to do the same, selecting shows from a high-tech TV guide.
Just click on the name of the show you want to record, come back anytime after that show's aired, click on Play My Shows, and click on the name of the show you want to play.
The site was soon getting hundreds of thousands of hits, and it got hit with a lawsuit filed by movie and TV studios claiming copyright infringement.
Did you think you were breaking the law in any way?
Not at all. It seemed to me this is a VCR. It works like it. The functionality is the same. It's basically a long-distance, a VCR with a long-distance remote. I just see us as one more extension of the same technology. But when the Betamax came out, it got sued too.
In that case, Sony, which made the Betamax, was sued by studios. But the U.S. Supreme Court sided with Sony in 1984, allowing consumers to copy a program with a VCR. But Silicon Valley attorney David York says recordtv.com's case is different.
The Supreme Court's opinion would have been different if the recording had been for archiving and multiple viewings later, and certainly would have been different if it had been for recording and then, say, making multiple copies and distributing it to your neighbors.
Earlier this year, the website I Crave TV was sued and voluntarily shut down. It streamed live broadcast TV over the web. As for recordtv.com, the website is still up, but not functioning.
The studios suing are asking for up to $150,000 for every show copied and distributed. Joining us now from Los Angeles is David Simon, the CEO and creator of recordtv.com. Also with us in San Francisco is attorney Ira Rothkin. And in Los Angeles, we have attorney Mark Litvak, who represents the Motion Picture Association of America, which is suing recordtv.com. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Helen.
David, I'd like to begin with you. You started because you wanted your kids to watch their Pokemon shows, and then I understand it spread to your neighborhood?
The kids' friends all loved it, so I put it up there so they could do it as well, and it just sort of took off, almost in spite of me, not because of me.
Well, did you think at the time that you were doing anything potentially illegal?
I didn't at the time, and still, in my heart of hearts, I think what we were doing was basically a VCR, and an extension of existing technology.
Well, Mark Litvak, I'd like to go to you. Do you see this as an extension of that technology? No different than dubbing something on the VCR?
No, not at all. What he is doing here is stealing the product that belongs to our members and circulating it literally around the world via the internet. His own information that he put out at the time indicated that what made his site so successful is that he paid nothing for the content. And the reason he paid nothing for the content is that he was stealing it from our members.
Well, Ira Rothkin, I want to bring you into that. I mean, that is a good point. Your client here did seem to be getting a lot for free.
Absolutely not. And first of all, I find the word, context saying stealing, I find that very offensive. Second of all, this is Sony 2. Here what you have is a VCR built out of software code. In Sony 1, you had a VCR that was built out of a physical box and had electronics on the inside.
Now you're
Here, there's no material difference between a software-based VCR and a hardware-based VCR.
Yeah, when you say Sony, you're talking about the U.S. Supreme Court decision that said when it comes to the Sony Betamax years ago when we all first got one, you could actually record on the VCR in your home, though, for home and personal use.
Absolutely, and in that situation, Jack Valente Mr. Litvak's boss basically said that the VCR is to the movie industry what the Boston Strangler is to a woman alone.
But
and he ended up being wrong, and they're wrong right here.
Well, you have
a situation right here where there's actually better safeguards in a software-based VCR on the internet than in a regular one. You have a situation right here where it extends the audience, which it also allows people to see more commercials.
Well,
there's absolutely no damage
Mark
at all.
Litvak, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Rothkin is trying to rewrite history here. What his client said at the time he put this out is, the beauty of our business is, quote, we have zero cost for content. And what he says, when he expands the people who watches, when they steal it, when they take it for free and send it to everybody and anybody they want, maybe some more people see it. But there are people who have worked hard here in Los Angeles and around America to put that content together.
And David Simon, I want to bring you back into this. I mean, how is what you're doing different from, say, a person who goes into a movie theater with their home video camera, we all watched it on the Seinfeld episode, and videotapes a movie, takes that home and dubs it and gives it out to people?
Well, no, this is the users recording it for their own personal use, just as they would with a VCR.
Right.
That's not true. That's not true.
You can do that here.
You can do that here whether or not you even subscribe to cable. What they did is for people who weren't even buying cable, who had never even seen a cable box,
well,
they would deliver
we
to
have
them
a
via the
fundamental
internet.
disagreement on the facts. We have a situation right here that's just like the Sony case. It's free over-the-air broadcasted television signals, and in the Sony case, Sony advertised their Betamaxes by saying that you can make a library out of television shows, and just like here, you can as well.
True.
And the Supreme
Court
embraced Sony's position and said what they were doing is lawful. It was time-shifting stuff they were allowed to see for free anyway, and with recordtv.com, it's time-shifting stuff the consumer could see for free anyway. What it comes down to is the fact that the MPAA wants to be able to charge people for recording things they could see for free anyway. That's what it comes down to.
First of all, he knows that's not true.
In addition, it was all commercially supported TV. You're getting...
Go ahead, Mr. Simon, go ahead.
You're getting additional viewers. They are making money on it because more people are seeing your ads. I mean, that's the whole purpose of commercial-supported TV in the first place.
And that was fundamental to the Supreme Court's decision that there are no damages.
Mr. Litvak, we have to give you the very last word. What are the ramifications of this if the website's allowed to exist?
The ramifications of this is if you allow people to take things that they do not pay for, you cannot stay as a viable business.
It's called fair use.
People's livelihoods depend upon people being paid for their creative works. People work hard to create this, and they need to be compensated fairly for it.
All right, well, we will be watching this case closely, as I'm sure TV viewers everywhere will be. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. David Simon, Ira Rothkin, and Mark Litvak. I hope we can have you back again.
Appreciate it.
And tell us what you think by voting on tonight's pros and cons 13th juror question. Should internet users who download music or video have to pay a fee to artists and copyright holders? To vote, log on to www.courttv.com. You can click on the pros and cons 13th juror question. We will be bringing you those results at the end of our show. And coming up next, school's out for the summer and amusement parks are packing them in. But a new report on how safe these rides are